So this is a series of sharks I'm doing. I did 10 of them, and they are on ACOs or ATCs, very small, 2.5 by 3.5 inch cardstock. I cut my own. I used a couple pieces of Bristol vellum and chopped them in. I get about 9 cards per 9 by 12 sheet of paper. So I get to draw on whatever kind of paper I want. And it makes for a much better drawing experience for me. And yeah, usually what I do is I pencil first and ink, and then I go back in with the marker. Actually, some of the, even the Faber-Castell as well as the Microns, they tend to blend a little, which is fine because I just use it as a strategy for blending rather than working against it or being like, oh, it ruined my drawing. Nah, I just blend it into the shades. It's cool. This first one was kind of, it was a little off, but I've been doing a lot of ACOs, but I haven't done fish in a while. And so I was a little off my game, I think, that day. And I think I was forcing myself to draw when I wasn't really feeling it, but it's just good to keep going. So I figure I'd do it anyway. These stripes here are supposed to be on this bull shark. They're actually supposed to be shading from the way the water is, but it's an illustration, so don't be too literal about it, you know. I like to use ink as much as possible for shading and then use as few colors as possible because it gives it more of a comic illustration look, I think. This is the big bad boy of the sea. It's a great white shark. Of course, Mr. Jaws himself. Oh, I failed to mention this. The tiger shark is considered the garbage can of the sea. He'll eat pretty much anything, and they are quite aggressive, but because they'll eat anything, and they look like tiger, they have tiger stripes, so tiger shark, I guess. I was quite happy with the way this great white came out, by the way. He looks pretty fearsome. Nice and football shaped. Oh, this is the whale shark. He's what do you call it? Like a siphon feeder. He filters. So he just kind of eats plankton and whatever's floating around. Even though they're massive, they're pretty much harmless to humans. They're very gentle, giant-like. Getting his spots close was a bit cumbersome. And like I said, my hand gets kind of cramped drawing this small. But I enjoy the process because you can get through a lot of cards very quickly. And I've sold a couple of these sharks. I'll mention it later, which one it was. This is the hammerhead shark. He's a literal bottom feeder. They burrow into the seafloor and they nom whatever's down there. This was cool. I was kind of trying to go for a little bit more of a blending the environment because I wanted to give you perception that he's on the ocean floor because, like I said, they don't surface very much. So there you go. Just figured I would do it that way. Most of these sharks I got from Unsplash using the free tier. Oh, this is the lemon shark. He's supposed to be common to the Bahamas, and they're harmless, I guess, to humans. They're very mild temperament, but they have like a pale yellow tone to them, thus lemon shark. This one had a little buddy with him, so I drew him in there. They look meaner than they actually are, is what I'm trying to say. And also, for a lot of these reflections of the blues and stuff, it helps to create shading and throw some grays and blues in there. It creates this sense that it's environment lighting, if you're wondering why I'm using blue. And that's what helps to make it look more realistic as you go and stack color and blend it and all that good stuff. And then the basking shark. He looks absolutely terrifying, but he's a big old baby. He doesn't do anything to anybody. He just does the same thing as the whale shark. He just filters out stuff floating in the ocean. And that's what those giant gaping holes they have of mouths is. They don't always have their mouth open. That's just how people take pictures of them, so they look absolutely terrifying. And here I didn't have a brown at the time with the markers I was using. So I figured I would do my best to kind of color theory my way to a brownish tint using greens and yellows to get sort of a brown, and then mixing some yellows and more yellow, more greens, throwing some red for some heavier shading. I think it worked out okay. So he looks worse than he actually is. Let's just say that. Oh, this is the mako shark. He's really cool. He's like the cheetah of the sea. He's the fastest fish shark as far as I know, as far as I've researched. This one's one of the ones that sold. He went pretty quick. I think a couple days after I posted him. And all my stuff's on eBay if you care to know. But anyway, it's under same name, Ray Wellman Art. I just did the same thing, environment lighting. Used a little bit more heavy, dark and gray. And then just kind of used an alcohol blender and tried to leave the whites where I needed it. So it creates a lot more shimmery shininess. I think it worked out pretty well. Don't be afraid to play with color, just kind of mess with it. Plus with these ATCs, they're very small, the ACOs. And if you screw up so bad that you can't fix it or whatever, you just hate what you did, whatever, just start over. It's not that hard. They're very inexpensive. I will say though, if you take your time on your penciling process, you're less likely to make those kind of quote unquote mistakes or get frustrated, because if you get your pencil right, you should be okay with the final result. This is an example where he wasn't quite what I was hoping it would come out with, but I was like, that's all right. Just keep going, keep pushing. Don't think about it too much. It's okay. He's much smaller too. Oh, and by the way, he's the zebra shark or leopard shark. But there's two different kinds. One is near Australia, Japan, and there's one off the coast of America, North America. They look similar when you're not looking at both of them together, but if you look at them side by side, their stripes are kind of inverted from each other, and it's easy to tell which one is which one's considered the leopard or zebra shark. But they're both called the leopard shark, despite the fact that they're different fish. And this is the big baddie, even though he's completely harmless. For one thing, he's at depths that you wouldn't be able to get to, and two, he doesn't have much bite force. And yeah, this is the goblin shark. Yeah, he looks like a goblin. He's terrifying looking, but I mean, again, you're not going to get anywhere near him. And they don't look like that all the time. They only look like that when they're protruding their mouth out to eat something or try to eat something. They extend their jaws quite a bit of ways out from where they rest. So the resting version of him isn't as terrifying. Now this one I pushed a lot. I did a lot of color because I was trying to get him a little bit more realistic looking. I just kind of pushing myself, see how far I can push these alcohol markers, and threw white on there for his teeth because I screwed it up when I was cutting him in. I was like, all right, whatever. I got a white pen. I can fix it. And it came out all right, I think. But that's it. That's my entire shark journey. It's kind of fun. It gave me something to post on eBay really quickly, short period of time. These only take, like I said, 30 minutes to an hour to do. So if you feel like you want to give it a shot, give yourself a chance to make some art very quickly, try out these little cards. You'd be surprised. Thanks for watching. Peace.